So here we are, going back all the way to 1987, a Phish show at Nectar's. Almost feels like you can't call it a show. More like a Phish gig at Nectar's, I would suppose, in 1987. August 10th, 1987, a three-set show. They did not have a ton of their own original material in 1987, so a show that included several covers. I nearly say half the show was covers, possibly. Three ZZ Top, Billy Gibbons covers were worked in here. Then some familiar ones that we still get today. Started great. Started with a Peaches and Regalia. Of course, it was going to start with a cover. And the first set felt like pretty much a warm-up set. The second set was where, much like we get today, was where a lot of the meat of it was. And then the third set, while it had some great stuff, was also some fun to be had, such as an Iculus that was shouting out Paul Languedoc. So the Peaches and Regalia starts things out, and and it was nice, sharply played. I would say much better than something we might get now. The recording on this, while good for its time, somewhat amazing really for its time. We're lucky to even have recordings from this early in their career. But here we are listening to stuff from 1987 now. It was a little bit tough on some songs to say. It was like with the sometimes the guitar would be more present. The mix just wasn't outstanding, really. It felt like a soundboard, and then Alumni, Jimmy Page, Alumni Blues. The first set they're just burning through stuff, really. Golgi, Wilson, Quinn, Divided Sky, Good Times, Bad Times. Like I said, a lot of covers there, and the Divided Sky, a very short version of Divided Sky. Basically, just the beginning of Divided Sky is all we got. No pause, no big build solo after the pause, none of that all cut out. We start out the second set also with a cover and Fire. And then we get one of, maybe not, Divided Sky was cool. That version of it anyhow, the Peaches, all the covers really in the first set were cool to hear. A nice early version of Wilson there. But nothing really highlighting this show in the first set. So then we get into the second set, opening up with Fire, yet another cover song, the Jimi Hendrix Experience. I think it was, right? Know who that was? It wasn't the Who, was it? All right. So then we get AC/DC Bag and Possum, maybe perhaps the first highlight of the night. A nice showing what they would become with the segues from one one song to the next. Starting to build a little bit of a set here. The AC/DC Bag Possum was a really nice transition. Then Fluffhead Fee. There was a lot of stuff that felt like Fluffhead wasn't cut as much as Divided Sky was, but all of these songs felt a little cut, Fluffhead including. Fee, again, strong. Curtain Width, maybe one of the better songs of the night, really. Songs like that and Fluffhead, the AC/DC Bag Possum, basically AC/DC Bag through Curtain Width is probably how they started to build a little bit of a reputation. Then we get back into the familiar cover. See, they're smart here too. They blow people away with originals, but then they don't want to bore people, so they in case they're not quite there, if that's not their thing, they hit them with some really popular covers. I Know a Little, Mustang Sally, and then LaGrange with a You Enjoy Myself mixed in there. Just a tray filled You Enjoy Myself, some wild screaming, as I suppose the vocal jam, major Trey solo included, of course. And then, LaGrange. What was that? Is that song number 2? No, song number. That was our first ZZ Top of the night. Billy Gibbons Nod. So now let's move over to set number 3. There's 3 fingers. Set number 3. They opened with the Iculus for Paul. Then a David Bowie. That was if Divided Sky wasn't what it is now, David, and not quite You Enjoy Myself either. David Bowie was certainly just a bomb thrown in the mix here, blowing this show up. And then about the last of the night, though, of the Phish originals, that was just going to melt people's minds, leaving people there that had never seen them before, never heard them before. Maybe people had seen them before, but they had never called him David Bowie yet. This one probably would have done it for you. Worth listening to, as well as the You Enjoy Myself and that AC/DC Bag Possum. None of this, Curtain Width was outstanding. Then we get the Jesus Left Chicago Whipping Post, perhaps the 2 biggest covers of the night. The ones that would have gotten a big red circle on a whiteboard if we were doing that in 1987. Both of them, Page on one, Trey on the other, just all together, both of them together. It says here the first known performance of Jesus Left Chicago. And then we get another, After a Crazy Anarchy, just a goofy little original early Phish song Not much of a song, really. The crowds kept screaming louder, faster, faster, louder. So they would oblige, and they played that. And then we get Tush, and then Dear Mrs. Reagan, how it ended up. A song that two originals out of the last three there. None of those last three really will ever get played again, I would say. Tush, maybe. And some of these covers still kind of like Peaches and, Chicago, kind of. Fire, sort of, maybe or no. Good Times, Bad Times, yes, I guess. Quinn, kind of. So I guess a lot of these covers have gone away. LaGrange, not really. Mustang Sally, not at all. So a pretty solid recording. Like I was saying earlier, we're pretty lucky to even have this one. So, and it is here on YouTube. There's also a link here on Phish.in. I'll include some links down in the description if you want to give a few songs a listen or listen to the whole thing. I don't know. First set, they pretty much burned through that, like I said. Second set's where it's all at. And then you still had a little with the Bowie, Left Chicago, and Whipping Post. 2 thumbs up. All right, guys, thank you. Thank you very much. No Elvis played on this night, unfortunately. Trey's that was Tush by request. There was a couple songs that were by request. The crowd, as they were going to play an encore that they didn't leave the stage for. I guess Dear Mrs. Reagan was a bit of an encore. All right, I've gone on too long. I was going to say the crowd was screaming louder. They got pretty rowdy by the end. You'd hear some chatter early on. I was like, I thought a lot of their friends went to see him at Nectar's. These aren't very good friends talking over their performance. What's going on? What is this? 2013? All right. Boom, we're out of here. 2019 was a very talky year, I feel, from the crowd. 2016, fall maybe even. Was that fall of 18? I can't remember. One of those years. Lots of talking. I don't know. Fewer tarps, more talking. You can never win, All right, we've went on way too long. About 2 minutes and 18 seconds too long at this point. Thank you, Kyle. Channel member Kyle requesting. I don't think I mentioned that yet. If we could go any longer. All right, boom. Even Kyle probably rolled out a long time ago. He's like, this was his show. And he's like, all right, enough. Fee was solid. Probably wasn't even at this show either. He requested a Nectar show. Wasn't specific. I was like, all right, okay, cool. I'll pick one. Probably picked one he wasn't at, damn it. All right, boom. Kyle, thank you for being a member. Thanks for the request. Thank you watching. Thank you for watching, that is. Truncated Slay going to see Gizzard tonight. You guys probably know Truncated Slay from the comment section. He's never going to be the same. Going forward, when you see him in the comment section, you'll be like, man, that guy's different. Sure is. He's gonna become a real boy.